is this? Tabletop Island, huh? Let's see what this is all about.
Welcome to Tabletop Island. I'm Bernardo, your host, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 most anticipated games for Gencon. My list, the games I am hyped for, very excited. Let's start it off, number 10. So number 10, we have Wobble King by Haba Games. It's a very simple game. It's actually a kid's game. I am a big fan of kids games. This game, you have this kind of wobbly lion on, what looks to be a bed, if I'm not mistaken. There are these tiles underneath it, and you take this stick to swipe down these tiles, and basically you want to get as much as you can while not making the lion tip over. And the person to make him fall loses. It's a very simple game. It's pretty fast paced. I'm a big fan. Haba has a lot of great kids games. If you're interested, look into that company. They're fantastic. Number 9 is Woolly Mammoth. This is a game I've been looking at since March, I believe was the first video on Board Game Geek. I was very interested. Basically, 4 people can play. You are using cards to do movement to basically push the mammoth off the cliff and collect meat. And everybody that plays a card plays it for everyone. So if I play a card that makes me move an X amount, everyone has to move X amount. So you want to kind of get off of everyone's wavelength to push the Woolly Mammoth off without losing any of your characters. And obviously you want your opponents to lose their characters, because it's either last man standing or the person to collect 6 meats from pushing the Woolly Mammoths over. It's a very weird game, but I'm a big fan. I love the mechanic. And number 8 is Obscurio. Obscurio is a unique game, kind of like Mysterium. I will be probably reviewing that first, since there's a lot of games I'll be comparing to that. The game is more of an abstract game, kind of like Dixit, which I've already reviewed. You have these tile pieces, and basically someone is trying to navigate you to an exit in a library. And there's these really nice, beautiful artworks, and there is a person who's a traitor who's trying to give you false information. And you kind of want to go through each level of the library. I think it's a unique game. I don't know too much about how the game exactly plays, but I'm very excited for it. Number 7. So this one is called Snowman Dice. It is by Brain Games. I've been waiting on this game for a little while, ever since I saw a video. I believe it was either late last year or early this year. I am such a big fan of the whole dice rolling mechanic, especially when the die itself is a part of the game. It's really hard to explain, but basically you're trying to build a snowman and push it to the center of the North Pole, but other people can roll snowballs and flick it to break down your snowman, and the first person to get to the North Pole wins. I will be reviewing this towards Christmas. There's a few games like it that really go hand in hand with that game, and I'm very excited for them. That is Snowman Dice. Number 6 is Don't Get Got. I am a very big fan of the idea. So this is a game where you have almost like this little wallet to where there are different rules that are slid into the slots. There's an abundance of different kind of rules that you can play, and you put them in secretly, and everybody that has one, the goal is the first to get 3 passes wins the game. And it's a game you play throughout anything that you're doing. I plan on bringing this to work because I think it's a cool idea. So it could be something as simple as get someone to call your phone. So I'd be like, hey man, I lost my phone, can you call it? Alright, cool, I got a pass. So now that's one that I've gotten down, and there are a bunch of different ideas for it. I love the concept, and I think there's so much more to build off of it. That is Don't Get Got by Big Potato. 5, we have Medium by Greater Than Games. I like the idea of social games. There are some that will be coming onto the channel more moving forward. I am a fan of games that get people to communicate as a part of the game. So it's not so much you're off topic of the game, but you're building a character within the game, and I'm a big fan of that. In this case, this game's more of a try to get inside of the mind of your friend. So you would have an object, let's say it's silver, then another person puts a card that they think can go with it, like sandwich. Sounds crazy. Now you have a few moments to think of a word that is either that silver and coincides with sandwich, and you have an X amount of time. You both have one. At the same time you say it. If you guess the right one, you get points. If you don't, then you move on, and you can play with a bunch of different people. Let's say you say knife and you both say knife, and you get points in regards to that. I think the game is cool. I think it's fast paced, and it's a fun little game you can add as like a filler game to any game night that you're doing. I'm very excited for it. That's Medium by Greater Than Games. Number 4, Detective Club. Now I talked about this at the end of Dixit. I like the idea. So I actually have been playing similar rules with the Dixit cards. I'm very, very excited to get the physical cards for this game and a little bit of the like the magnifying glass meeple, things of that nature. I like the idea and I like the notepad. I was actually using a dry erase board, which ended up being a little more annoying than I'd like it to be. But anyways, the game is you have an abstract piece of art, you say a word, and you write it down for everyone except one. Everyone goes around to put down a card from their hand that they think goes with that, and then everyone goes around a second time, and then finally the person reveals the word, and everyone has to argue why theirs fits that word, and then everyone guesses to see who didn't actually have the word. It is such a unique game, and it's a great social abstract art game. That's Detective Club. My number 3 is Rebirth, the DC deck building game expansion by Cryptozoic. I am a big fan of this game. I'm actually adding a segment for DC deck building. I have a really exciting cube. I can't wait to talk a little bit more about it. It's more of a high-end competitive game, so don't look at it and say, oh, DC, I want to play it. Keeping in mind, it's a pretty complex game. It's not the hardest game to learn, but it is a game you'll have to commit a little bit of time to, at least to get used to and to start winning. It's a hard game to win your first shot, especially if you're playing with people that have played, but it is a fun game. I recommend looking into it. If you got friends that already played in your area, I recommend joining in that first because it is an awesome game. Rebirth, it adds a little bit extra in terms of player pieces and things of that nature and a more of a cooperative element, but I'm not a big fan of that. That I'm mostly into it for the new cards, but that is Rebirth by Cryptozoic. My number 2 is Campy Creatures by Keymaster Games. I have been waiting for this for a little bit. I saw the Kickstarter and I'm so mad I missed out on it, but I'm also a little bit glad because it looks like they did a lot more for it, especially with the new expansion that I'd be getting with it. Very much a fan. The idea is you have cards in your hand and you're trying to purchase from a lineup of things that can help you, some can hurt you. Now you can use these cards, let's say 9 is like the highest value, I believe it's a kaiju, it might be 9, I might be getting it wrong, but you place that down, someone else might have another card that has an ability that allows you to kind of take ahead of them or just kind of screw over your opponent. So you kind of want to get into their head and see, all right, if he plays this and I play this, this will stop his effect and then I'll be the one getting the cards that I need and he'll be left with the cards that suck, yada yada yada. You get the idea. The game is cool, it's very competitive and fast paced, and it fits really well with what I already enjoy with my board game group. I think it's going to be a big hit. I'm very excited for it. That's Campy Creatures by Keymasters Games. Check it out. And my number 1, I didn't even have to look at my board because I've been waiting for this for a little bit. Unmatched by Restoration Games. Now, I'm very scared. I'm going to get there on Saturday and it's going to be sold out. Please don't be sold out. But if it does, I understand. I will pick it up at some point when it does become available. But the objective of the game is you can play with 4 people. I think it's a better 2-player game, but I haven't actually played it, so don't quote me on that. I just like the idea of having more 2-player games. I don't really play too many of them because I have more than 2 people for game night most of the time, but I do like the idea of it. So it's a very interesting strategic battle game. So there are, initially this was a restoration of an old Star Wars battle game. Now this one, they've licensed different things going from Bruce Lee all the way to Bigfoot, so it's ridiculous. You got 2 characters, let's say it's Bruce Lee and Bigfoot, and you're using cards and using your movements to kind of attack the other opponent and take them out. Now, each character has their own feel for them, so they have their own unique abilities, and the game looks really exciting. I'm very excited for it. They've got like Bruce Lee, Alice in Wonderland. It's absolutely insane. That is Unmatched by Restoration Games. Now, there are a couple other things to talk about. The first is expansions. There is the Fireball Island expansion by Restoration Games. I'm very excited for that. As you guys know, it's my favorite game and it hasn't changed for that. Number 2 would be for Luxor. It's a game I haven't yet reviewed. I'm actually waiting for the expansion because I want to review it together with that. It's a very unique kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a very unique game to where you're using cards to move, but you can only take from the outside. And when you draw a new card, it goes into the middle. So So you kind of have to gear towards, all right, do I want more? Do I need this card later, or do I need this card later? So it's like, it's really unique. I love the movement aspect, and I like the concept, and the theme of the game is amazing, but you'll hear more about that soon. And then there are some demos out there. I'm hoping I can try them. I'm not too sure. It really depends on lines and time and things of that nature. The first Restoration Games has Dark Tower. I've been waiting for this game for a little bit. I've been wanting to buy the physical, I guess vintage one. Not really. I personally don't like the game, but to add it to the collection. But now that they have this one, I will not be doing so. The other game is called Mystery House. It looks super cool. I know absolutely nothing about it. I see it online, and it's like this 3D box of rooms, and there's these pieces that slide out, and I see people using their phones to kind of peek in it. I don't know the objective of the game, but it looks cool, and mystery definitely follows it. I'm very excited for it. But that is actually all I have for you guys today. I'm very excited for Gen Con. There's a lot I need to do, and there's a lot I want to do. Coverage is going to be a little weird. I'll have kind of a low-end rig going around with a stabilizer to see what I can get, but I'm not going to be really focused on that. There's a lot of games I want to go after, and a few different people and companies I want to talk to, because that's what I do. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys at Gen Con. If you have a different list or games you think I should check out, please put that down there. Like, there's games like Cloud Spire that I'm interested in learning a little bit more about, but I feel like I need to dive into playing the game before I put it on an anticipated list, because my kind of games aren't very common with others, because I've looked at other lists, and while I agree with some, others I'm just not excited for, and I'm happy I'm not excited for, because one, they're very expensive, and two, they're going to be crowded with lines. So I guess I'm not missing out in that aspect. But please like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate any feedback. I'm trying to make these videos more and more outrageous. Now, there is a bell up there if you want notifications. On Monday, regular board game reviews. Wednesday is our weekly talk/updates, videos, and on Friday is our vintage board game reviews. That is all I have for you guys today. See you guys next time.